Hello, hello, hello. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning. Khoshamdi. Ji ayanu. Goeiemorgen. Pakhair ragle.
Ni hao, churashume, washmale, ohio gonzaimas, guten morgen, hola, bonjour, privyet, kaifa hal, halashama chatore, ahlan masalan marhaba, buna, mucho, gracias, and a very amazing good morning to everybody who's tuned into PTV World and are watching World this morning alongside the very amazing, the very fantastic Shizza, Hashmi, and Shahzad Khan. Hello Shizza, how are you today?
I am great. How are you?
Well, I told you not to ask me this question, but it's
No, but
perfectly all
generally,
right.
it's a Friday, ladies and gentlemen. We're headed out to a weekend. It's going to be brilliant. I know you're going to be working on this weekend,
Yeah.
but that's great. I mean, the type of work that you're going to be doing, I'm sorry for the tongue slip, but it's amazing and it's entertaining and it's also energetic. So probably you're saving your energy for that.
No, I'm not saving my energy. It's
Okay.
like I think people can relate with this as well. That throughout the week, ladies and gentlemen, you try to maintain your schedule. Okay, you have to wake up at this time, you have to sleep at this time, and then since it's December over here in Pakistan, it's the wedding season as well. So there are a lot of weddings going on. So one of my friends was getting married, and unfortunately, I couldn't make it to his wedding because of the fact that it's going to be on the weekend, and I'll be working. I'll be in Lahore. So they called me in last night, and
Okay.
I had to be there. All the mehndi dances and
Oh,
whatnot.
I think I saw some Snapchats. Yes, that explains.
So that's what it was all about. But other than that, I think everything is perfect, and I want people to rise and shine, wake up.
And did you have your mom's breakfast? The paratha
Yes,
anda?
I had it, but today it wasn't really paratha because of the fact that I think that cholesterol levels need to be checked up as well. So I moved on to brown bread.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Which brings me to one thing. So there's this exciting new discovery that I read and I thought I should share with you guys. There's this one gene in our systems. It's called ARCN1. The name of the gene is ARCN1. And that is sort of responsible for the metabolism of the body.
Okay.
So if you sort of inhibit the growth or the functioning of that gene,
Yeah.
no matter how much you eat, you won't gain weight.
Really?
How amazing is that? So
I
it's
want
been
it.
tested on rats so far, and it's being tested on humans. And in the near future, probably 2 to 3 years, we're probably going to have medicines or pills, with those inhibitors which can inhibit the ARCN1 gene. And when you eat them, after that, you can literally eat anything and not get
Well,
fat.
that's great, and I think
I
that
can't wait for it.
I'm envious of the fact that rats get to be slim and humans do not. But
I know,
ladies
right?
and gentlemen, we're definitely looking forward towards a technological era, and these medications will be out there. But do consult your doctor before taking these
of
medicines.
course.
But now coming down to the point about where what are we going to be talking about today, Shiva?
Okay, so before that, I have a question for you. And I think you have answered this question so many times on the show.
Go ahead.
But where have you been to other than Hunza? You've been to Hunza?
I've been to Kailash. I haven't
Okay.
been to Hunza, but I think I've been to probably most of the places over here in Pakistan, thanks to the type of work I do. That people send me across Pakistan, but I haven't been to Naran and Kagan. I think specifically.
Okay.
But I've been to Shugra and all of these other places. But other than that, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's what we're talking about today.
Yes, tourism and all the beautiful, beautiful places in Pakistan that any one of you, being a Pakistani or not being a Pakistani, can, sort of enjoy doing that. And one more interesting thing, just few days back, probably last month, there was this longest trail in Pakistan. It's 44-kilometer long. It starts from Islamabad and ends in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa.
Okay.
And I'm not sure if it's been inaugurated yet, but it's going to be brilliant once it is. For all the hiking lovers out there or hikers.
Hike
I
lovers,
hate,
yeah.
I hate hiking. So.
No, you don't have to. You don't have to hate it. But other than that, ladies and gentlemen, talking about Pakistan, I think that we've been blessed with land where we get all the seasons. The footage is right on your television screens as well. I mean, imagine you get the bestest, and the most exotic places over here in Pakistan, and you get all the weathers as well. I mean, if we talk about the deepest seas or probably the highest mountains or the peaks as well, I think Pakistan encompasses and engulfs all of the beauty of the nature which nature has to offer to us as well. And I think that it's about time that we cherish these as well. And our premier, Mr. Imran Khan, has actually been talking about tourism industry as well. That's what we're talking about today, and we'll be discussing the challenges Pakistan faces today in terms of tourism.
And I'm just, these drone shots are breathtakingly beautiful, man. I'm not sure what place this is, but it's so, so pretty.
Yeah, I think it's somewhere closer to Gawada, the last one. But this is from Deosai, Deosai Plains as well. And we've got bears over there, I don't know what. And Pakistan, ladies and gentlemen, I think is one of those places where I cannot probably wake up and ask Allah to have a better place to live. And I think that I'm very glad, I'm very thankful that I was born and raised over here within the land of purity, Pakistan it is. And to discuss about tourism, ladies and gentlemen, we've been joined by some very amazing guests who've been actually riding around Islamabad and other cities on their bicycles. And then there's this lady who was actually, who's a British, who's got a British passport, but she's actually turned that down. She's living over here in Pakistan for the last 3 years, and she's discovering. She drives by herself. She's been to the most of the places, most exotic places over in Pakistan.
Wow.
We'll be asking them about tourism and what we need to do in terms of developing tourism as an industry. So on my right hand side, ladies and gentlemen, we have been joined by somebody who's an amazing traveler and bike rider.
And he's never going to retire.
And he's very enthusiastic about whatever he does. He's none other than Khwaja Zahiruddin. Hello, assalamu alaikum. How are you?
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi.
What happened to early bird riders?
Well, the early bird riders are the ambassador of travel and tourism. And I have a 52 years of experience.
Wow.
My first travel was in 1966 to Kagan Valley.
And you were a teenager then?
Yes, I was
Wow.
a teenager. I was 16 years old at that time. And at that time, we took the rucksack on my
You
shoulders.
still look like 16.
Yeah, I am 19 years old, and the rest 51 year is my experience.
Just experience. Right?
So
That's cool. Thank you very much for joining us. And alongside Mr. Khwaja Zahiruddin, ladies and gentlemen, we have been joined by somebody who's a seasonal traveler. That's what she wants us to, to call her. And she's none other than Miss Farah Rahman. Hello, assalamu alaikum. How are you?
Walaikum salam. Walaikum salam. How are you?
Absolutely perfect. Thank you
Yeah.
very much for joining us. So I think I'm going to get my conversation started with you.
Yeah.
For somebody who's got a British passport, turning it down, coming back to Pakistan, why?
I didn't turn it down. What
Okay.
I'm saying is,
Sorry, I just said it. Figure of speech.
what I was trying to say to you before was that I didn't want to give up my British passport, which was why I didn't get involved too much in the politics here. But I've tried to contribute in terms of doing a lot of training, policy writing. I've worked with Taaleem Foundation, which is a national charity that has schools in the most remote areas, in tribal areas of Balochistan. And I've done work with them, and I've also worked with PTI. I just wanted to contribute my skills to Pakistan, and so whoever took them, I gave them, and those were the two people that took them.
That's great. That's great. I think I'm going to get my conversation started about tourism in Pakistan now.
Yeah.
So for somebody who's actually been living abroad for so many years, now how, for example, first of all, I need to know, where have you been in Pakistan?
I've been to quite a few places, mostly around the northern areas, but also some down the south. So I've been to...
Windermere Lake?
I've been pretty much a lot of places in Azad, Jammu and Kashmir, Muzaffarabad, travelling all the way up to the Neelam Valley, to Kale and Arang Kale, which is very, very extreme north in that state. I've also travelled to... I've driven the Karakoram Highway. In 2014, I took my car alone and drove all the way to Hunza by
Wow.
myself.
By
Why
yourself?
in my
alone?
dad's Toyota Corolla.
No, but that's brilliant.
I know.
So how was the experience?
Just one of the best experiences of my life.
I'm
and
sure.
I've travelled a lot.
Right.
I've travelled around India several times, and Europe, America, many, many times, Egypt, you name it, I've been there. I've done a lot of travelling. But Pakistan was just stunning. I mean, to be honest, Pakistan has everything that all the other countries have.
Right.
But unfortunately, what we're missing is that marketing and that advertising and that strength that really promotes the tourism.
I do agree. I do agree. So when you were traveling on your own, I don't know if I should ask this, but I should. So what were sort of the hurdles that you faced? I mean, honestly, when I sort of imagine a single woman traveling all the way to the north, again, I haven't even been to the nearest places.
Yeah.
How was it, the hurdles that you were facing, the obstacles, and how did you manage? And was it worth it all?
It was such an... I didn't tell my family because if I told them, they wouldn't have let me go.
Yeah, of course, of
I
course.
told them I was going to visit my khala, and I went travelling up in my car. And I did tell some cousins, so they knew, and I checked in with them. It's about safety. When you're a woman, you have to be safe.
Right.
But can I honestly say there were no hurdles? Would you believe me if I said that?
I mean, it's hard to believe, but of course.
You know, let me give you an example of the things that used to happen. I was scared because I'm very much one of these people who believes feel the fear and do it anyway. Okay. So I got in the car, I'm very adventurous, and I went, and it's not like I wasn't, you know, but I was being careful, I was being safe. I would always make sure that from one hotel, I'd leave early in the morning to make sure that I arrive during the daytime at the next point of destination, 4 or 5 hours away. You have to build in time for tyre punctures, repairs. But what I absolutely
And you were
love...
fixing your tires?
No, this is what I want to tell you. It's so amazing. This is Pakistan, right? I'd get a tyre puncture. I had quite a few. I would stop on this mountainside, this road, narrow road. I'd be standing there. I'd get out my car, I'd sit on the rocks. Within 5 or 10 minutes, a truck driver would come.
And help you out
Truck
with
driver
the tires.
were incredible people. He would get out of the truck. Some of them didn't even speak to me. They would look at me and go, "Salam alaikum," like this, go straight to my boot, open the boot, take the tyre out, replace the tyre, shut the boot, get back in their car.
Wow,
Bye.
that sounds so nice,
Wow,
right?
yeah,
You
it
can
does.
all sorts of
Incredible
help
people.
anywhere in the world.
Incredible people.
Wow,
I
wow.
can't even begin to tell you. I had a tyre puncture at least 5 times. I never had
I
to.
think you need a new pair of tires, though.
Have you been on the Karakoram Highway,
yeah,
Shahzad?
I've been. But it's
Have
nice.
you seen those roads?
Yeah, well, it's
because, by
fabulous.
the way, this was, 2014
Yeah.
when
It
these
might be
roads
different
weren't
then.
made.
One
I was
developed
too
enough.
young back then
Yeah,
to travel.
you probably weren't born.
You were a teenager.
Well, let me just move
पैदा
on
नहीं
to...
हुआ था.
हो गया, वो हो गया था मैं.
No, but coming, yeah.
Yeah, let
Should
me
I
move
go?
on to Khwaja Sahab over here. So Khwaja Sahab, you've been a regular on the show. You've been actually telling us about bicycling and whatnot, and you've been to different places on your bicycles. But other than that, you've served the armed forces as well. You yourself.
No, I didn't serve the armed forces. I served IBM. I'm a professionally
Wow.
consultant. Still, I'm working on a payment solutions that the latest
That's
technology.
great, that's great.
yeah.
But I still remember that you actually shared a story with me that back in 1970s or 60s,
yeah.
you actually went on a hike over
Yeah.
here in Pakistan. And I
Yes.
think you were the one who's actually the most youngest over here in the studios right
Yes,
now. Because of the fact that you have this passion of traveling and adventure. So share your experiences of how it was traveling in
All
Pakistan.
right. We go chronologically and we can take either ascending or descending way. If we go by descending way, this year,
I would like ascending because I want to sort of know the situation it was back then.
Okay,
without
great.
the roads being developed
All
and
right.
without
Back
any
in
hotels.
1966, when for the very first time you
the
were
very
traveling.
first tour I arranged with my friends, and we bought a rucksack from our old shops, which is called Landa Bazaar.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And we took that, and we don't have much funds, very little funds. And our first travel was, I am from Lahore, I was based in Lahore. From Lahore to Lake Saif al-Muluk and back. At that time, there was from Balakot to Naran, there was one way the jeeps are going, and the afternoon the jeeps are coming back.
So there
the
were
road
jeeps
was
back
so
in
narrow.
1960s as well?
Yeah, yes. And the roads were very narrow.
Right.
My next trip was to the Kafristan Valley, which people now go Chilam Joshi. So I have seen the
I haven't
real
heard either of
wilderness
these
and the
words.
virgin beauty of these areas. And I've been to all the three, valleys, which is called Barir, Bomrit, and Rambur. And now
That's in
people.
Kailash, right?
Yeah, that is called Kailash.
Bambura.
Previously it was known as Kafristan,
Yeah, yeah.
and then moderately name given as Kailash was their family, what you call that, as a
Tradition.
clan.
Yeah, yeah.
So instead of saying somebody Kafir, it started getting a modern name as a buzzword, Kailash, Kailasha.
Kailashi,
So
yeah.
this is, so I've seen all those, changes. And we climb from there is a called Gambak Top.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
we
yeah.
cross from Barir to Bombay. You cannot go, there was no. So we cross Bombay, Gambak Top, and we get down into the Bombay.
Exactly.
So that was the. And then I was being ambassador to East Pakistan in 1970. I was being selected as a promoter of East and West Wing international our national integration at that time.
But I so want to know how things were back in 1970s, before 1971 War II as well.
Believe it or not, honestly, the incredible our people, as Farah was mentioning and you were mentioning that about the beauty. No doubt Pakistan has everything which is required, like highest mountains are here, so we can attract all the international people, and still we are attracting. And we have the best beauty of the sea, as well as we have the highest what you call that. Recently I just visited that desert which is in Shigar, near the Skardu Valley.
And we've got the bestest heritage sites as well.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what it is. If we
I
talk about
was there
Hashmi,
in Shigar, and that is the heritage site. And then I've been to the other in Altet and the Hunza Valley. And this year I even cycled from Gilgit to Hunza. We travel there. So Pakistan.
Wait, cycled?
Yes, cycled.
Okay.
Yeah, it's 100 kilometers.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm going to
Just
pick up on this, that, ladies and gentlemen, since Mr. Zahiruddin is actually letting us know about, how many different villages we have in Kailash as well. So let me talk about Bamburat, because I happened to visit Kailash as well myself on behalf of PTV World, obviously. So when we went over there, so, there was this very interesting thing. Imagine snow golf or snow polo. This is the type of sports they might be playing in.
Right?
No, they might be playing in Kailash because of the fact that it's just full of snow these days.
Okay.
And nobody can actually make it to Kailash these days as well, because of the fact that the infrastructure is of such sort that there's probably, a lot of different difficulties. And, while I was going and while I was on my way, I kind of felt as if I should actually return back home because of the fact that the roads weren't really very safe. But I think that's what it is all about. It's all about adventure. It's all about accepting what you have and then probably, reliving it as well. But now I want to come down to the fact where Ms. Farah, since, you've got a British passport as well, you've lived in Manchester, United Kingdom, you might have been all over the world. What do you think are the most common challenges we face in terms of tourism? Because now Pakistan obviously does not actually represent a picture where people can say that, there's a lot of terrorism, there's no security, there's nothing like that or whatnot. So I think we are way ahead of all of those excuses which people used to make.
Not anymore.
So what are the challenges right now?
I think those are the challenges. The number one challenge would be terrorism and the international perspective on what Pakistan is all about. Internationally, everybody thinks of terrorism and Pakistan together. And that's a real shame, but that's the fact. So this is something that the government and this country has to counteract through media and advertising, promotion and marketing.
But we still have got Mr. Trump writing us a letter.
Yeah,
saying
yeah. But we've also got IK writing one right back, yes, and probably much better written.
Yeah.
So the great thing is that you've got a Prime Minister now who's really promoting tourism. Have you ever heard any of your Prime Ministers ever do that before? Have you ever had a Prime Minister who's actually put tourism as something that really needs to boost?
Or thought of it as an industry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
Tourism can bring in a great deal of money.
Yeah.
And if you look at the research and you go and have a look at how tourism has literally changed countries overnight, but what you have to do the work, because the thing with tourism is that it affects your local communities the most. And the money quickly goes directly to them.
Right.
It's one of the few businesses where money directly goes to the local people very quickly, not through trickle-down effects which you get through other capitalist ventures.
Right.
So the reality is that the money goes where it's needed. Obviously, we need to talk about eco-tourism and sustainable tourism. Yeah. Imran is very high up on eco-tourism. I don't know if you know, but he helped to develop some eco hubs up in Sharan Forest, which I went to recently, and they're absolutely stunning. Where they are is absolutely beautiful, but everything is run on solar power. Everything is built with the environment in mind to sustain, to develop. They're called eco-pods, so people here in Pakistan really need to start going and visiting them.
They sound nice, of course.
They're absolutely beautiful, and people don't want to come away when they go there. But sustainable tourism is about being able to sustain that. But eco-tourism is more about trying to protect the ecological environment. So both of those things need to be in play, and Imran is very sure that, you know, that's what he wants, and I think that's what your country needs.
Right,
But-
That's really, you sort of portrayed the picture of how the new government is taking Pakistan in terms of tourism. But coming to Mr. Sairuddin, you know, credit's due where it's due. Just before the show, you mentioned that one of the issues that you think we're facing in terms of tourism is because of the devolution plan. And if everything was not provincial and it was at the federal level, we would probably prosper more as compared to as we're doing now. So should we talk about that? And if it were so, if everything was federal, what sort of changes were we seeing?
Well, due to the 18 amendments, it is good that provinces are being empowered for promoting travel and tourism.
Right.
But please bear in your mind that not only I have traveled internationally, 40 countries I have traveled.
Oh,
Traveling is my passion,
Right.
all over, even up to Hawaii and even up to
What
this.
did you do there? That's something which I want to ask.
Yeah, what I do. Since I was serving IBM, I have plenty of, I'm a very workaholic, so I do my best, then I earn and then I travel with me and my family. And enjoy every culture. I like people. I like to meet the local people, their culture, their, food and all that. So that's my, recently I was in Thailand. I was cycling over there as well as culturally exchanging things. So coming back to this, a central body is needed because when I go internationally, the Pakistan is known as a tourist destination. So being as a tourist destination, there has to be some single body which can present it. And a province can also support with their cultural activities. We did over here a rally which is known as a Pakistan Cultural Rally, in which we all represent 6 of our provinces, GB, AJK, and our 4 others. And the girls were being dressed with those cultural dresses, and we say this is whatever we are. So these are the soft images, this is the way. And let me tell you, as long as these words are concerned, which I don't want to take that, which start with the T, I don't want to take it. We are a very, hospitable people. This is even, this has been documented many a times by thousands and thousands of tourists. And just recently, there was a cultural exchange, and America thought that they can promote their soft image about themselves because they are big, whatever they do in the world, and they talk about activities hypocritically, and in which they say weapon of mass destruction, blah, blah. But anyhow, they sent their cultural musical programs. And one of the lady which he visited as a group, this was all female. And the way she said that I was, going and people are helping, she literally cried and she gave a TEDx talk, 18 minutes. She's an anthropologist. And not only she was so fascinated when she was in our Margla Hills, and she said our security says, oh, you can't go. And then they allow us to go to a village. And she said a person came from the, she expresses, a person came out, an elderly person with the red hairs, because people, those color their hairs, and offered us water. It was hot weather. They took the water, as well as then they offered them tea. And then she sang over there, and then the person asked her daughter to come and sing for them our, poem, Lappe aati hai dua ban ke tamanna meri. And then in TEDx in America, this lady, sang that verses. I can forward you on your WhatsApp to you, and you can see that. So Pakistan is amazing. Pakistan is amazing.
Pakistan is amazing.
So people, please, this is a tourist destination. All we need to ease the visa. Because there is a visa policy.
Well, I never bought one for Pakistan, so I don't know whether it's difficult or not. But there's this one more thing which we want to discuss, ladies and gentlemen, and that is that once you've been gifted with such amazing destinations, I think that your behavior probably has an impact on people who are actually traveling to Pakistan. For example, we have been joined by Eva Zubak over here, William Miara, for people who've actually been world travelers. They've been on the show too as well. They've said some amazing words about Pakistan. But other than that, I think that there needs to be a change in the attitude of all of those Pakistanis who are out there as well. For example, when we talk about Murray, we know that, once you land in Murray and, if there's a tiny itsy-bitsy kind of problem, all of those people are going to gather and throw you out of money. These are real-time problems which we need to address, because people, they think that that the place they're living at is so amazing that no matter what they do, they can probably insult all of those other travelers who are actually visiting their places.
Right, so the attitude we're talking about, but hold that thought because we're heading out to a short break and we will be back before you know it. Stay tuned. Good morning.
Let's do it. A glass of water. Good morning.
Yes, I need a glass of water too. Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. For everybody who just got tuned into PT World, you're watching World this morning alongside the very amazing Shizza, Hashmi and Shahzad Khan. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we have picked up on tourism over here within Pakistan. And when we talk about Pakistan, I honestly feel blessed to actually have been born in this land, which is the land of purity or purity. And when we talk about Pakistan, ladies and gentlemen, we've got some amazing deserts, seas, highest peaks, 4 seasons or more than that too as well. Every kind of fruit, every kind of vegetable, whatnot. So you can probably experience whatever you want to experience. But unfortunately, I think in the last decade or probably 15 years or 18 years, what has happened is that the international media has portrayed a picture of Pakistan which is probably very contrary to what happens over here in Pakistan. So for all of those 45 countries where I'm being heard right now, I think that, for you guys need to travel to Pakistan to see it for yourselves. But other than that, now we have discussed, where to go, what not to do or what to do. I think I wanted to talk about people of Pakistan now.
Yeah,
They're
the
very
attitude.
hospitable. Everybody says that. But other than that, there are a few areas where people actually take pride in probably being resident of some very amazing places or some very amazing tourist spots over in Pakistan. And then at times, there
Which
are...
might be buskill for
Yeah,
the travelers.
and there is collateral damage. That's what
Oh,
I would like to
yes.
call it
Okay.
as well. That, that they take so much pride that they do not actually care whether somebody is traveling, visiting or whatnot, and then there are other issues. And I think that it's about time that we need to educate them.
Yeah.
How do we need to educate them is a question which I'm going to put up for Mr. Khwaja Zahiruddin right now. So let's get started. How do you think we need to educate our people about people coming into your cities and how we should actually be
Yeah,
hosting
it
them?
is both way. The national tourist places as you mentioned, that people have an attitude. This is what the problem. They face that they have come over here for entertainment, so why not to rip them off?
Yeah.
This is a bad attitude. But at the same time, it is our responsibility as a traveler that we have to be passionate and we have to be decent with them instead of having any kind of arguments.
Right.
But recently, the incidents which are being mentioned in Murray as well as in Naran Valley,
Yes.
these are the two very famous places at the moment. But I will request our national tourist people that they should also explore our other areas like Mangora Sawat, like Neelam Valley, like go to our areas which are in Chitral. And
I agree with you. I'm sorry to cut you over here, but I agree with you. But there are people who do not get any days off and who have like a very limited
People
time.
like us, yeah.
So very limited time. So the first thing that comes to our mind is either Murray or Naran because that's nearest and more developed than
And
the
you can
others
have
are.
a day trip.
Yeah, exactly. You can have a day trip. So that is one of the reasons probably a lot of people go.
But
to.
Shizza, you can
Especially
have a
here-
day trip to Qatar. So you can go to
I've been there.
Qatar Raj,
yeah,
you can
Qatar
go
Raj,
to
yes.
the Buddhist caves. You can travel out to some of the outlying villages. There's countryside around
Sons
here.
Kesar.
Chakwal is only 2 hours
Yes.
away. There's some amazing historical
Right.
places there. So really, people here need to educate themselves on that.
Absolutely. And Ms. Farah, you know, one more thing. So there's a trend in the subcontinent. Whenever you have enough money and enough time, you plan a trip, but the trip is either to Europe or the US
Yeah.
or anywhere along those lines.
Yeah.
So why are we not focusing on, you know, all the beautiful
Absolutely.
places? And I'm guilty of that. I
Yeah.
myself have never been, again, to all the pretty places in Pakistan. But how can we change that mindset?
Well, it's about education and awareness again, isn't it? This is what I was discussing with you earlier, because what really annoys me is when all the elite and the moneyed people of this country, they spend all their money abroad. The minute they get a holiday, they pack their children up, they get on a plane, they go to Europe, they go to America.
Why not add to the economy of your own country?
Why don't they actually educate their children about their fantastic country?
Right.
How
Our
come
trend is
nobody knows
changing.
about Bawalpur's palaces, for
Yeah.
example?
Yes.
I've been there.
None of the
These are- yeah.
children know about those palaces. And the reality is, educate your children, take them there, spend your money there, promote those local communities, promote that economy, promote your country.
Right, absolutely.
And
Very well said.
I'm thinking that we should, at this juncture, with the help of the PTV World, we request our education ministry that there should be a program in the early stages in elementary schools and in our high schools to know more about Pakistan,
Come on, don't do
places
that.
in Pakistan. In Tarikh Geography is a
Yeah, I
word
was
which has been
always
used.
weak at social
उसमें ये
studies.
होना चाहिए.
Yeah.
जैसे it has been said, you said that we are not aware, other people are saying we are not aware.
Yeah.
In order to make them aware from the beginning, it is needed that tourist places or attractive places in Pakistan. Because, well, I used to go to Hiran Minar in Changamanga. That was when I was in 8th and 9th grade.
Okay.
So
Hiran Minar
why
is
not?
somewhere closer to Sheikhupura. I guess.
Sheikhupura,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
And it was that was my
It's a great
first
place.
trip to there when
Back
I was
in-
back in 1964.
Wow.
Yeah, and 65 I was
That's
in
when I was born.
Changamanga. And then my parents allow me to go farther, to go to Kagan Valley. So
That's
this
like
is,
20 years earlier than when I was born too. As well. But other
That's
than
when my
that,
dad was
you know, now I want to come down to the point where you actually said that people actually need to learn, we need to educate them. But other than that, I think everybody's got a choice to probably, you know, book a plane ticket, go to Europe and wherever
Yeah,
they
of
want to go.
course.
But at the same time, you know, there's one more thing which I would love to say, that is that I don't know how many people might probably be born at the same place and have died at the same place as well. And I
Who
think,
haven't travelled, he
And I
means.
think that when we talk about education, I think real education is in traveling. And when you travel the world, that's when you educate yourself as well. So for all those people who want to go to Europe, go to Europe. But I think there's this one rule I've made for myself, and that is that if I've touched upon an international destination, I'm not going to go back there until unless somebody's going to call me for work. So every
But
year...
Shahzad, I would disagree with you. I would say to the people here, who've got the money, well, you know, put your money where your mouth is and go somewhere in Pakistan. No, don't go to
Well, for
Europe.
somebody who's been
Don't
all
go
over
to
Pakistan, I
America.
think.
Come to Pakistan. Go to Pakistan. Take your children to all these incredible places. Do you know how
I think
many?
the expat community needs to do this.
Do you know
yeah.
how many? We're already doing that.
Yeah.
We're the ones that travel more than you guys
Yeah.
That's
in
true.
your country.
Yeah, that's what we
Do
say.
you know about the untouched beaches in Gwadar?
Yeah.
Do you know there are untouched, beautiful beaches where there is nobody?
But the only thing you're going to
absolutely
eat over there is fish. That's it. So, you know, there
Fish
needs
is
to
very
be-
good for
And
you.
So I
UK,
think-
very
people,
good
they
for
like
you.
fish
I
and
think these are
chips
the
only.
areas where we need to work. I mean, for example, the other day I was in conversation with the Chief Secretary Balochistan as well.
Yeah.
And he was like that, you know, life over there is not that simple.
No.
You know, people say that, you know, Gawad is beautiful and whatnot.
We have to develop, don't
But
we?
there are hardships. So now
Yeah.
how do you think that, you know, moving further, how do you think that we need to develop these areas, keeping in view the demands of the people who are actually traveling those spots?
You know, the way our transportation problem is being solved by that applications, mobile apps, the Airbnb mobile
Yeah,
app
yeah.
is helping, and I will encourage over here. We are very good in technology. Pakistanis, if they are listening me, the technology people, we should develop something like that of our own, by which we can introduce our own culture into it, because Airbnb does not allow us many of our own cultural things. So when we are booking our rooms and all that, and there should be a flavor of our own. So
Yeah.
this can be also very
And
helpful.
I've got a story to share over here. So I think 2 years ago when I was traveling to LA, I booked a room for $30 a night on Airbnb. But now, you know, see, so the dynamics are different. So now, for example, if I booked a room, so I showed up over there, there was this lady who actually rented a room of her own house. Now, these are the things which we cannot do over here in Pakistan. I mean, imagine somebody who's young and who's pretty and you
No,
know,
this is
she's
happening.
renting their
It's
This
called
is happening in Islamabad.
yeah, it's
It
happening.
is.
Islamabad, you know what they say about
Yes.
Islamabad is 50 kilometers outside Islamabad, that's where
That's where
Pakistan
Pakistan
starts.
begins.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
that's what it is. So we need
But
to
let
keep
me
that
tell
in.
you, even the names are getting changed. The previously, if you see the industry, there were hotels and then became the motels.
Yeah.
And from motels, it became the what you call that paying guest.
Yeah.
You go there. I stayed in 1982 when I went for Sri Lanka.
But I
with
don't
my
want to be a
wife.
guest if I'm paying.
Yeah. No, the paying guest is that you are sharing a room of
Yeah,
somebody,
yeah.
and then you enjoy the culture
Exactly.
of that people. They will.
You see, that's
yeah.
sustainable development.
Yeah.
That's sustainable tourism,
So-
and you do realise this is already happening in some areas up in the north,
Yeah.
where what happens is tourists are hosted in the family home.
Yeah.
So what that means is that it directly benefits that family
Yeah,
and the
right.
economy, and at the same time, the tourist is getting authentic experience and getting to know the people. So this could be spread all over.
This is happening now in Khagan Valley and Sawat. One of my friend whose company name is Sustainable Development Tourism in Pakistan, and he has developed, and he is also in a policy making. What he has done, that we go to the hotels and we order the local food, and I did try that. Then it comes from the home, and you order it and then you wait. So this is the way they have gathered that you can have your real makai ki roti
yeah.
and saag of
God.
in Naran Valley, or we have this the lassi in Bahawalpur, and all that. These things are been happening now.
Exactly.
Wow,
So
that's
this
brilliant.
is thing. I mean, it is also a part of us to get ourselves
Yeah.
educated. We are not inquisitive about our own areas,
Yes, we're
about
not.
our own people. We take it granted, जिसको कहते हैं घर की मुर्गी दाल बराबर,
Exactly.
और हम बाहर जाके देखते हैं. I have been to the best places of the world. You
That's
name
what
it.
happens to me when I go back home. My mom tells me to go to the tandoor and get rotis, and I'm like, man, people are going to take selfies and whatnot. But other than that, you know, that's very true. And I think that this is one of the challenges that we actually have to consider the needs of everybody who's traveling to that particular area. For example, I'm very sorry,
No,
but
no,
I
no
got
problem.
nostalgic about it while you were talking. So I went to Thailand, I think it was 4 or 5 years back. And so, you know, we stayed there for like 14 days. And after the 7th day, I was like, I cannot have any more burgers or Thai food.
Yeah.
I want some desi food. So we found out this Indian restaurant, and the guy's name was Sita Ram.
Okay.
So I'm sorry, but I'm sharing it. And I think he made me remember my mother every single day while we were having breakfast over there. So how do you think that in days to come, because we have to wrap it up, that we cater to the needs of the people who are traveling those particular areas within Pakistan? And do you think that it's going to change the dynamics of the industry of tourism?
By the grace of God, I am very confident that with this new government of Imran Khan, and where they want it to be a industry, they will work on it, and they will, unified our Pakistan as a destination, tourist destination, as it was by the PTDC. It's known as Pakistan Tourism Development Corporation of Pakistan.
But now it's TDCP.
And then it is different. So if they again do a one unit kind of things and promote destination internationally and nationally, we should also have some seminars of that where we can promote culture. And Hunza is very famous for that. They are doing it very nicely. Shandur is being promoted. Chilam Joshi is being promoted. Now we need to more,
I mean,
as we mentioned, our nearby places like Sons Kesar, like Katas Raj. We have been, we cycled over there.
Swike Lake as well.
Yeah, but Zahar, everybody focuses on the northern areas, but we've got incredible, majestic, arid, stunning landscapes in Balochistan, in Quetta, in Sindh, around Karachi, all the seaports and the beaches around there. Those are often forgotten in the face of the majestic mountains of the north. We've actually got majestic mountains.
We've got heritage sites as well over here in Pakistan, which tells us
What
about history.
we haven't mentioned Mohenjo-daro or
Mohenjo-daro,
Harappa, which is where the cradle of civilization is supposed to have
Indus
come
civilization.
I mean, if you go back to Lahore, we've got so many other forts as well, which you can travel.
But those are very well known, but there's so many unknown places. Right. There's so many.
Well, thank you very much for being with us. It was lovely to discuss tourism early in the morning, and it makes me feel like traveling. And today I think I'll be traveling anyways.
Oh yes, you
the
are
weekend travel.
And I'm sorry, because earlier when we were about to start the show, and I was like to Shizza that you'll be doing the show.
Yeah, he was like,
I spoke so much.
Exactly. He was like, you'll do the show, I'll not speak a lot. I was like, fine, I had so many things in my mind, but
finally, you were thinking finally.
Yeah, that's true as well. So ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about the tourism of Pakistan, and the repeat is going to be at 11:05. We'll come to that. But make sure that you add to the economy of your country before you plan to move out. There's nothing wrong with, traveling abroad, but visit Pakistan, visit all these beautiful places. And once the Hazara motorway opens, it's going to be perfect for everyone to travel wherever they want. So fingers crossed.
These days as well. And you can take your
not all
bikes
of
too
it.
as well. Not all of it, yes. But other than that, ladies and gentlemen, there's this one last thing which I would love to say, and that is that what I've learned in my life, I mean, in this short span of time, is that I think traveling educates a person.
Yes,
and I want everybody to educate. Please make sure that you travel outside the country and within the country, and you'll get to know about so many different things. For example, Pakistan has actually got more than 71 local languages. Imagine, nobody knew that. So once you're going to travel, you will learn all of that, and I think that'll be beautiful. And you'll be able to promote and project Pakistan's positive image to everybody out there. So that's what you're supposed to do, and do write to us on our Facebook fan page, which is with the name of
Well This Morning.
On Twitter.
Well This Morning without a G.
On Daily Motion and GT.
Well This Morning.
And what do you want to say about me being smooth?
But ladies and gentlemen, the repeat is going to be at 11:05 in the night. Do not forget to catch that, and we'll see you on Monday.
Till the next time, 1, 2, 3.
Good morning.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.